Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Sebastian Ellison. Today's topic is going to be focusing on Albuquerque's public transit system and the implementation of a zero fare system permanently. So we're going to go on to the next page. So this first page dives into the topic of the background, gives us some context of the zero fare system. So the initial pilot program was established in 2020, only lasting about 2 years as a trial. Basically, after statistics and after about the first year, Albuquerque was kind of able to establish their foundation. Their goal was to encourage more people to adopt the public transit, and we've seen successful examples of this in cities like Kansas City, New York, who obviously house a larger population than Albuquerque, New Mexico. So if they can support it, we are definitely capable of doing so as well. Being the biggest city in the state, Albuquerque definitely has the most demand of a city in New Mexico of public transportation. Most advocates for zero fare transit will even say that the cost of maintaining the transit system is not what prevents most people from riding, but the lack of reliability is what people run into the most. Frequent and reliable service is what the people need. If there were more buses, or if there were more effective at navigating the city, more people would trust in the city's public transit and utilize it. With this longevity and this future goal, Albuquerque officials are feeling very confident and are going to do what's in their power in order for us to make sure it's a success. So in the Works Cited page, I have this video linked if you want to check it out. Basically, it goes over new benefits, new regulations that first happened, the first wave making this public. And since then, we've seen changes. But like I said, this just to give it some context. Go to the next page. So a published article titled Albuquerque City Council Passes Permanent Zero Fare Program kind of goes into all the benefits and the capabilities of the program. Giving access to 250,000 people who live in Albuquerque is immense, and crime and drug use is obviously apparent. This affects a lot of people and stops them from riding. If we were to see drug use decrease, there would be 100% increase in confidence among civilians to ride. As we can see that there was a 65% of drug uses were on the public transit. 65% of drug users in the Albuquerque metro area, according to a recent statistic, are 30 years old or younger. Males and females around this age could be students or productive members of society, but are deep in the life of hardcore drugs. The article kind of goes into this more and basically claims that the city has seen some improvement and decrease in the drug use among this age statistic. So if we were able to support that and stay on that path, then most people will feel a lot more confident in accessing the city's resources, such as this public transit. The article also goes into detail about how 90% of all riders do not make more than $40,000 a year. This is more money in these people's pockets, although it might not be much, but it's one less expense they have to think about paying for. And if they are a family who has plenty of students, or a larger family with a single mother trying to support their children, then this helps a lot just by getting around town, having to not pay for a babysitter because you're with your kids. You're not paying for your kids to ride the bus as well. Below is another video I have linked in my Works Cited page, going into more detail about this if you'd like to check it out. Another proposal to increase rideability and confidence in the city's systems are new bus stops and designs. Obviously, pleasing the eye is a big key, and if there's homeless people or drug use or syringes on the ground, trash, the stops are dirty, no one's going to want to access these services and ride. So this tax money that's paying for it obviously will go back into preserving these bus stops. There are teams that get paid directly just by doing this, and it's their sole responsibility for upkeep on these things. So we are seeing that the city wants to take care of it, and let's hope the free fare service, they can manage cleaning the bus stops, upkeep as well. So, and obviously an increase in bus stops will help accessibility and effectiveness if there's not as much people waiting in one place and getting off all at once. It'll kind of improve the flow, if you will. So some rhetorical strategies that we see by the published article that we just got out of reading. They detail the difference between the zero fare and normal rate of buying a ticket. And logos is their main rhetorical strategy. They want to attract the audience with facts and evidence from experimental trials, which most people will see as scientific backed data, i.e. a logical thinker. I would like to think for most people, at least, logos would be the strongest and most effective way of convincing someone to support a cause. Pathos has a fair argument as well, and a fair amount of use throughout the document, but logos dominates throughout, forming a strong argument for it and igniting the movement. Pathos would be an easier approach for the younger generation, because it's quite apparent that the younger generation deals more with passion and emotion. And I think they did an effective job of appealing to this audience, stating how 90% of the people who ride make under $40,000 a year and are living in poverty, and most bus riders are 30 years or younger. This directly appealed to any thinkers of pathos mindset, broadening their audience range and strengthening support for the movement. Overall, when advocating for a free, fair public transport system, logos is a superior method because it would appeal to the older lawmaking men and women who have a direct say in changing legislation in the state of New Mexico. Although our younger audience is important, it's also important that we satisfy the people who brought up this system and people who can do something about it. As an engineer, I would like to create a system that can still work for the citizens of Albuquerque while navigating traffic effortlessly. I believe that providing accessibility to a wide array of people will not only increase production among a city's population, but doing this will also provide options to its people. While keeping more cars off the road is always safe, auto fatalities decreased by 60% in areas where public transportation was present. This system will also give citizens one less thing to pay for, as we mentioned earlier. A public transportation system underground, such as a subway, might be the city's best option. When there's not allowable space above ground, what did New York City do? They went underground with failed projects like the ART or Albuquerque Rapid Transit System that take up a lane of their own. For example, the ART project is on Central, where Central only has about 4 drivable lanes. One of these lanes is, 5 drivable lanes. One is occupied by the ART system. However, I don't think one car lane is enough for a city's public transportation system. We might need to find another place to put that. With failed projects like the ART or this rapid transit system, without this lane occupation by them, it'll open up the roadways for citizens. And Mayor Tim Keller, back in 2019, tried to purchase a fleet of electric buses for the city, but was met with despair when he discovered that the city did not have near enough electrical output to support such a system. The city does not only not have enough room on city roads to dedicate one lane to a bus system, but they simply do not have enough funding. The head of city's transportation department created a proposal of a $4.6 million order to expand ART. This request was denied for the use of money to go towards expanding the ART project, but the money could still be granted to purchase better buses and improve bus stops along city roads, which will happen. And below is another video I have linked going into the details of a failed project like the ART. So overall, it's my Works Cited page and those videos I was mentioning. My audience, I would like to say, is civilians of Albuquerque, particularly people who I would say make under $50,000 a year, or even to $80,000 a year. So the average American, because if you don't have to use your car, pay for gas, especially when energy prices are always on an increase right now, you could ride the bus for free. It's a great move. The city's putting a lot of money back into these buses, so increase of rideability is essential. And so our target audience is going to be students, it's going to be the disabled and the elderly, not just people who only make under blah 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 a year. The purpose why I wrote this is to highlight the issue and to bring a little bit more attention to it, and also highlight the things that the city is doing, because they're not doing nothing, but they could improve this for sure. So yeah, I'd like to thank you for sitting through my video and my presentation of my website. Thank you.